Welcome back to JToH News. After 2 years, I'm finally making another episode of this. A little recap for those who don't know, in this series I will gather news from the game and the community and compile it into a video like this. This can range from huge game updates to exploiting scandals to new completions, or even the smaller stuff like bug fixes and minor changes. Let's get started with the news this month. On the very last day of last month, Tower of Oblivion was finally released to the public after 4 years of waiting, and some changes were made to it the very next day. If you somehow haven't played this tower yet and don't want to be spoiled, feel free to skip to this timestamp shown on screen. Also, I'll be going through all of the changes made even if they weren't technically done in May, but with all that out of the way, let's get started. Soft lock was fixed, the chaser's range was nerfed, and the tower was confirmed to not be possible on consoles. A trapdoor pit was made larger to avoid confusion from the actual trapdoor. Arms triggering basement entries was fixed. Indication fixes were made for the last two keys of 4.4. A secret became more hidden due to some confusion. I'm assuming this is talking about the rabbit hole. 4.6 and 4.7 were heavily nerfed, and a sign was added to this portal saying that it wasn't possible on console. Duke then said it will receive some updates over the following days on how she's going to try and balance it. She only balanced it for 2 days. Some note changes were made to indicate which ones were actually important and which ones were to do with lore, and a note was added explaining how events work. There was also a note added for a very specific circumstance where you backtrack and don't get the last two keys in the homeland section. The chasers got nerfed again, and there's only 2 chasers now. Barriers were added to certain places to prevent people from leaking the tower. The last section of the marble maze became faster paced. The tower became playable on mobile again, and a badge was finally added to the hard mode. Also, once you get the immortality orb, don't use the sinister potion. Now that I've listed every single change, let's go over to some revamps now. 2 revamps were revealed this month, one for a ring and one for a tower. Starting off with the ring, Ring 4 got revamped a little bit. It was mostly just decorating it as it was pretty empty before, but it still stays pretty true to the original. They haven't made any huge changes apart from moving the psychologically unsafe towers down here. I really like this change as the ring looks a lot nicer since before it was pretty dull. These changes were made over time throughout the 4th of May. A cosmetic shop was also added into the ring, and it's been a while since the last shop, but they finally made another one. There's also a few hidden items in this one, which I think is pretty cool. A Forgotten Ridge shop was also released the same day. Also, the infamous tower known as Tower of Hand Slitting also got revamped this month. I decided to play it through, and honestly, it was really fun. It wasn't boring, but it also wasn't insanely modern and overcomplicated for no reason. I think the tower became a bit much on 410, but apart from that, it was a really good revamp. I'd recommend actually playing this 5 out of 30 tower now. After a long while, there's finally been some new promotions and some staff members. On the 10th of May, Nom Gray, who was a helper at the time, got promoted to moderator, and on May 13th, Sinwave got hired as a scripter. These guys have been doing a lot for the game recently, but there hasn't really been anything major done as it's only just been bug fixes so far. A huge congratulations to these two for being promoted and hired, and hopefully these guys will make new updates in the game on a consistent basis. For all of the tower builders out there, there's a few new things to know about tower building. On May 15th, the base count for tower submissions have been raised to 5,000 parts, and you're allowed to use 500 parts of floor. This also means that if you're using unions, you'll have to ununion and then reunion everything if you're currently building a tower, in order to find out the true part count. Oh yeah, this was said as well. On May 20th, Gamma announced that there will be drag detectors. However, you're not allowed to use these drag detectors in the first few worlds, even if you're a VB, as they're too game-changing to be suddenly released into the later rings and zones. But they will be used often in the World 3, which also technically means that World 3 is confirmed now. Yay! I think it's a good idea they aren't introducing drag detector to World 3, because the first 2 worlds already throw in game-changing mechanics at random points. Moving on to some new info about an upcoming area now. New info was shared about the Ring 6 Subrealm. Vendetta said that the towers are going to be more modern, the towers are going to be mostly challenging plus, and that the towers will be revealed once they pick them all. And all of this was said on the 11th, and then on the 24th, Gamma decided to reveal all of the towers getting into the Subrealm. These were slowly revealed one at a time, and these are all of the towers getting into the Ring 6 Subrealm. Pause if you want to read it. Congrats to anybody who got their towers into the game. The Thanksgiving event has finally returned to the game after an almost 4-year wait. There have been many plans for this event to return for so many years, but none of them have managed to happen until now, thanks to Sinewave. You can of course find this event in the elevator secret. When messages were also broken for a bit on release, but they were fixed later on. Something else that happened was that for some reason they did not recover the music when the tower first came out. But then the next day they decided to recover it, and now you can play the tower with the music with no problems at all. Moving on to the miscellaneous stuff, there's a lot to go over, so let's just get started. The Pride Shop has been fixed and the puzzle was removed, and you can go there in Thanos Tower without getting softlocked now. There was a little controversy to do with TOGKD of all things. It looked like it was about to get replaced with a tower called Tower of Trivial Resentment, however this was cancelled and scrapped. TOML and TOAE were optimised. Tower of Compact Volumes in Lost River has been changed to Tower of Compact Spaces, as it was its original tower name and now could be used thanks to the monthly tower acronym change. The ToDi button permanently stays now, and the Tower True Skill secret ending works again. Halloween 2019 is possible again thanks to the corner clip being fixed. Some cosmetic issues were fixed, here's a screenshot. A lot of old secrets were also fixed, like the shopping cart secret, the hamburger secret, and the piano music was restored. TODD secret ending is fixed now. TLP Tower Rush was fixed. TOHD from Fool's Ring 9 was also fixed, as well as the Ring 1 Practice Obby corner clip. Tower of Waiting Ledges got some changes, including a solar spinner on 4.4, rope platforms on 4.2 nerfed, 4.5's maze has extended walls and a roof over it, preventing you from high jumping it now. The 4.10 lift is slower and is indicated, and you can hit the speed changer at the end of the tower now. A jump on 4.8 was changed to make it a lot more clear, and all the conveyors on 4.10 have been slowed down. TO Triple I's animations were fixed, badges not being given from beating towers was fixed, the Ghost of the Christmas Past aura was optimised, Ring 3 tower completion signs now show up correctly, and Pat, the mini tower in Paradise Atoll, now shows up in the webhooks, and there's an option to disable ToDi when joining Ring 8 now. Also, the Rock in Ring 4 has gotten some secrets for some reason. There was a bug where low detail mode wouldn't work with ToDi disabled, that was fixed. Suggestions made a return to the Discord server, and finally to wrap up the miscellaneous stuff, a new aura was teased. Let's move on to some community news now. First up for this month's community news, let's go over some list changes for the top towers, or just the hardest towers in general. Tower of Excruciating Anguish has been placed at number 68, Tower of Raspy's Cascades has been placed at number 70 but then was reverted due to backlash. Tower of Paneling Barricades has been moved to number 63, Tower of DiCaprio was nerfed and then was removed from the list. Tower of Shatter Resolve was placed at number 62 on the list and then was changed to number 69 and then was changed to number 63. Tower of Negative Reinforcement has changed the verifier to Zorwath 1 for some reason here, I'm not going to be reading all of that. And Tower of TJ Wall was... TeHJ Wall. Tower of TJ Tower of TJ Wall. Tower of TJ Wall has been placed at number 3, which has received a lot of backlash which the team has commented on. Finally, Tower of Negative Reinforcement has been moved from number 48 to number 56. Recently, a YouTuber has been found out to be lying to the top towers and the top Obby staff about his completions. We are of course talking about TheObbyRay. TheObbyRay is a JToH YouTuber that makes videos about tower and Obby completions. His two biggest completions being Tower of Lucas Pentido and Tower of THGE Wall were found out to be using 75 FPS. This wouldn't have been bad if he wasn't lying to the staff about his FPS usage with these towers. Honestly, this isn't the most harmful thing ever. He still beat those towers legit, and people have done a lot worse, like exploit their way to the top. However, he has been banned from the top towers and the top obbies. Also, before the section ends, please do not harass this guy. If you do, you are worse than him. So please don't do it. Let's move on to some more positive news now. On May 2nd, Surgenix, who is a mobile player, managed to beat ToVH. It took him around 60 to 75 hours in total with 5 fails on 4.8, 8 fails on 4.7 and like a billion fails on 4.6. This run wasn't fully legit as he skipped 3 sections though. One at the end of 4, one at the start of 8, and one at the start of 9, but it's still insanely impressive that he managed to pull it off, plus this tower looks really painful to grind, so I don't blame him for taking these skips. Famous JToH developer and community member known as Lightsynth, or Orb as the pilot, has announced that he is completely leaving JToH. He made a Google document about his resignation from the game. Basically, he just talks about his history, why he left, and thanking everyone, as well as some other stuff. I'll leave a link in the description to anybody who wants to read the full document. It's a bit crazy to see this guy leave as he's been working on the game for so many years, and he's done so many things like making COHP, and overall just improving the game. That concludes this episode of JToH News. If you want to see more, be sure to subscribe in case I actually start making the series again instead of abandoning it for another 2 years. I've got a few big videos planned, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you soon.